Hello everyone, my name is Danish Buns, and welcome back to another fantastic yet quite horrible game of Starcraft 2 from yours truly, Danish Buns. Today I'm here to show you how to really break the will and inspiration of a human being. Now, you're going to see a couple mistakes in this game, and I want to see if you can point them out real quickly. First, before I get into any of that, I'd like to introduce my opponent, Kachmin, as I will so on pronounce his name. Now, Kachmin is playing a Protoss, and that scares the heck out of me. As a Zerg, I am quite often intimidated by the other races, but Protoss especially, mainly because I do not like Stalkers. Since, I have had some experience with them and have been one, but I really shouldn't say that out loud. So, what I'm really trying to do right now is just get through my startup game, how I begin every single round, getting my workers up. I really don't have much out yet. Drones, a couple overlords, and my larvae are dying horribly. That was me misclicking. You'll see that quite a lot. What I'm really trying to do is just get my standard gameplay out there. I'm going to get a couple Zerglings, try and put some pressure on my opponent, make him feel uncomfortable, because that's how I generally feel in real life, and I think it's very effective at slowing people down. But honestly, nothing too unnatural going on right now. I'm just scouting, trying to figure out what's happening. I have detected that he is not at either of these two facilities. Of course, my drone, instead of going left, is going to go left. Never mind, I'm just not very smart. And we can see my opponent checking me out. I do have my spawning pool down. I am going to be getting those disgusting Zerglings out in a little bit, ready to spit and vomit and just do tons of delicious things. As soon as my spawning pool is up, of course, I will be getting the mother of all things, the queen. She will, of course, also be doing some vomiting. And I am poking in right now, inspecting what's going on. Now, I really just want to check out his base, make sure everything's happening, but I think I mess up right here, and I just want you guys to witness this a little bit. I do check his base at around the 3-minute 30 mark. Now, what can happen at the 3-minute 30 mark? We can't really see anything too interesting. We do see he gets the cybernetics core pretty early. But other than that, we don't see anything too amazing, and I think that's probably one of the problems with trying to scout at that time. Of course, he could potentially wall off, but, Protoss don't really wall off. They're not Terran. They want to keep their bases open so that they can actually escape, until, of course, they can get warp. My drone returns, and I'm still putting pressure on this guy, but as you're going to see right now, he's actually going to come back into my base and see practically nothing happening. My queen is out, and she will vomit now. A little delayed, but she's getting her gastrointestinal system running, and that's all we could really ask for. I have my Zergling units out, and I'm going to be putting the pressure on that probe, eventually exterminating it before it can see really too much. Now let's see how much Common has seen right down here. He hasn't seen the extent of my base, so he's being pretty sneaky. I myself haven't seen too much of his base. I saw that cybernetics core go down, but nothing really too extensive. Setting in my Zergling units right now. Gonna try and deal some damage. Now, as you can see, he doesn't have very many zealots. Alright, if we go to the Everyone tab, we'll see that really he doesn't have that much of a defense. If I had managed to push in with these guys, I may have done something. I may have achieved something, which is something that I rarely do. And I like to brag about when I do. So, this is not the case. I will sit down and cringe and cry while I try and get my macro going. Do have a fair amount of drones. And I'm going for the Roach War, and I do love roaches. At around the 9-minute mark, I love to do a small push with the roaches. But, as you can see, really doing nothing with those Zergling units, and that should not be happening. We can see that this probe is going to come down and try and check me out again. And that, of course, makes complete and utter sense. And generally, just nothing happening. Just going well. I'm just cruising along. I'm having a really good time. Emotionally, I feel very stable. I've got a really well-equipped base, just tons of drones, mining away. Roach Warren is up. I am getting Zergling speed. They're going to be able to run at the speed of light. I feel like I am on top of the world. I feel like I could conquer something. I don't know, an ice cream cone probably. But I feel very confident. I feel very ready for the days ahead. And, I start building up my army. And by building up my army, I mean I'm building 4 overlords at once. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for the onslaught. I will be getting roaches out, though, and I will be preparing to do something. But I'm sure you guys have noticed something interesting happen right there on my screen. Get ready to watch the destruction of my being. Let's just look at this from my camera. Please. What is going on? What I macro one unit away. What do I do? Roaches attack? Oh wait, roaches can't attack because they're invisible. What do I do? What do I do? Run, queen! What do I run? Back, forth. Go this way. What? Oh God, there's the queen. Oh jeez. Run. Mine. Oh wait, I can't mine because there's nothing there. No. Flee, single drone. It's fine. It's fine. I have another base. I can make it. We can rebuild. Oh God. Oh jeez. Oh, there go. The spawning. Spire. I have a spire, but I have an Evo chamber. I really don't know what's going on here. And as you can see, I leave the game. Now that's sort of a depressing look at my abilities. Honestly, I depress myself a lot. But let's look at it. Let's see how I could have fixed that. How could I have changed my gameplay in a way that would have made me not fail so horribly? Now, of course, a DT rush is a pretty annoying thing. And especially playing as a Zerg with little to no detection, it's hard to prepare for a DT rush. But here's what I should have done. All right? I should have taken advantage of these Zerglings at the very beginning of the game when I got them out. He was clearly going to rush that. If you look at his base, he had 1 Zealot. All right? But I didn't really know that. How could I have known that? I could have moved this guy over. I could have done a little bit more scouting in this general region rather than sitting along and just looking at those 3 guys right there and assuming he's going to do a standard play. Pushing those Zerglings in, I could have shattered his economy. I could have done a hell of a lot of damage. It really would have set him back. All right, but instead I didn't. I decided to macro up. I wanted to get early Mutalisks, do some harassing, but that was not going to happen. That was simply not going to happen. Another thing that I should have done, and it's generally preemptive, around the 9-minute mark. If you don't see any pressure coming from your opponent, that probably means they're bulking up for some sort of push. And, from Terran, usually I suspect Banshees when I get really nervous, because I know I would do something like that. I would be so cruel like that. I know that would happen. But I get suspicious, and I usually plot down a Spore Crawler here and there along my mineral line so that I don't lose any of those very valuable gatherers. I don't want to lose any drones. It's not worth it. But I forgot to build that Evo chamber, and I just did not build any Spore Crawlers, and that lost me the game. So I hope you learned something from this god-awful example of play, and I hope you come back to see more How Not to Play StarCraft 2. My name is Danish Buns, and I will love you next time.